The summer of 1940 cast a long shadow over Europe, a shadow that would soon envelop the entire continent in a struggle for survival. The Nazi war machine, relentless and brutal, had overrun much of the continent, leaving a trail of devastation and despair in its wake. Poland, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and finally France had fallen, each conquest adding to the growing power of the Third Reich. Great Britain, standing defiant but alone, braced for the inevitable onslaught, knowing that their island was the last bastion of hope against the Nazi tide. The fate of the free world hung precariously in the balance, with every man, woman, and child in Britain preparing for the worst. Prime Minister Winston Churchill, a beacon of resolve in this darkest hour, rallied his nation with characteristic defiance, his words echoing through the hearts of his people. "We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be," he declared, his voice unwavering and filled with determination. Little did anyone know that the coming struggle would be waged not on land, but in the skies above, where bravery and skill would be tested to their limits. The Battle of Britain, as it would become known, was a clash of ideologies, a fight for survival against seemingly insurmountable odds, where the very essence of freedom was at stake. For the German Luftwaffe, commanded by the ambitious Reichsmarschall Hermann Göring, the objective was clear: cripple the Royal Air Force, seize control of British airspace, and pave the way for Operation Sea Lion, the planned invasion of England. Success for the Luftwaffe meant clearing a path for German troops to land on British soil, a crucial step in Hitler's grand plan for European domination. Failure, however, could spell disaster for Hitler's grand ambitions, potentially altering the course of history and the fate of the world. The Luftwaffe, confident after its string of victories across Europe, possessed a numerical advantage in aircraft. Their Messerschmitt Bf-109 fighters, sleek and deadly, were formidable opponents. The Luftwaffe's bombers, the Heinkel He 111 and the Junkers Ju 88, were capable of delivering devastating payloads. Yet, the RAF had a secret weapon, the Supermarine Spitfire and the Hawker Hurricane. These agile fighters, though fewer in number, were flown by determined pilots fighting on home turf. The early skirmishes of the Battle of Britain, fought over the English Channel and along the coast, were a brutal test of strength and endurance. The Luftwaffe targeted RAF airfields and radar stations, aiming to cripple Britain's defenses. The RAF, outnumbered but resolute, fought back with ferocious tenacity. Every downed German aircraft, every pilot saved, was a victory against the odds. On August 13, 1940, a day that would forever be etched in the annals of history as Adlertag or Eagle Day, the Luftwaffe launched a massive offensive. Their objective to crush the RAF and achieve air superiority once and for all. Wave after wave of German bombers, escorted by their fighter screen, roared across the English Channel towards their targets. The skies above southeastern England turned into a maelstrom of twisting metal and exploding ordnance. From dawn until dusk, RAF pilots scrambled to meet the relentless German onslaught. Pilots, some barely old enough to shave, climbed into their cockpits and soared into the fray. The air crackled with radio chatter, a mixture of English and German, as pilots called out enemy positions and desperately tried to maintain formation amidst the chaos. Dogfights, a deadly ballet of speed and skill, raged from cloud level to just above the treetops. The Luftwaffe, initially confident of a swift victory, found themselves facing stiffer resistance than anticipated. Their meticulously planned strategies began to falter as they encountered the unexpected resilience of the British forces. The RAF, though outnumbered, fought with a ferocity born of desperation. Each pilot knew the stakes were nothing less than the survival of their nation, and this fueled their relentless spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. The British pilots, aided by their sophisticated radar network and the efficient command structure of Fighter Command, were able to anticipate and counter German attacks with remarkable effectiveness. This technological edge allowed them to be one step ahead, turning the tide in their favor. The courage of individual pilots and the strategic brilliance of the RAF's leadership combined to deny the Luftwaffe the decisive victory they craved. The synergy between the pilot's bravery and the commander's tactical acumen created a formidable defense. As the day wore on, a sense of grim determination settled over the RAF airfields. The pilots, aware of the relentless nature of the battle, steeled themselves for the continuous sorties that lay ahead. Pilots, exhausted but resolute, returned from one sortie only to be thrust back into the sky for another. Their unwavering commitment and sheer willpower were crucial in maintaining the defense. Mechanics worked tirelessly, their hands blistered and raw, to patch up bullet-riddled aircraft and get them back into the fight. Their behind-the-scenes efforts were vital, ensuring that the planes were battle-ready at all times. The ground crews, often overlooked but essential to the RAF's success, worked with a frantic urgency, knowing that lives depended on their speed and efficiency. Their dedication and hard work were the unsung backbone of the RAF's resilience. Section 5, Amidst the Clouds, Triumph and Tragedy in Equal Measure. The battle raged with unrelenting fury, a relentless clash of wills and machines. British Spitfires and Hurricanes, nimble and agile, darted in and out of German formations, their machine guns blazing with deadly precision. German Messerschmitt Bf 109s, fast and heavily armed, fought back with grim determination, their pilots equally skilled and resolute. The skies over southern England became a swirling kaleidoscope of smoke, fire, and twisting metal, a deadly dance of survival and destruction. Victories were fleeting, often followed by sudden explosive death as the chaos of battle claimed its toll. For every German bomber shot down, another found its mark, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake, a grim reminder of the stakes. The human cost of the battle was staggering, with countless lives lost and families forever changed. Young men, both British and German, fought and died in the skies above a foreign land, their bravery unquestionable. Their courage, their sacrifice transcended the political ideologies that had plunged the world into war, uniting them in a shared humanity. Each fallen pilot represented a shattered dream, a life cut tragically short, a story left unfinished. Yet, amidst the death and destruction, there were also tales of extraordinary heroism and unlikely survival, stories that inspired hope and resilience. Section 6, The Hour of the Few, Exhaustion and Determination. As the sun began its slow descent, casting long shadows across the English countryside, the intensity of the battle reached its peak. The Luftwaffe, frustrated by their failure to break the RAF's resistance, threw everything they had into one final, desperate assault. The RAF, stretched to the limit of their endurance, met the challenge head-on. Every available aircraft was thrown into the fray. The pilots, their faces etched with fatigue, their eyes bloodshot from exhaustion and the constant strain of aerial combat, flew until they had nothing left to give. Some, their aircraft crippled by enemy fire, were forced to bail out over enemy territory. Others, their ammunition spent, made desperate attacks, their aircraft little more than battering rams. The fate of Britain, it seemed, hung precariously in the balance. Section 7, A Glimmer of Hope. The Luftwaffe falters. As darkness finally enveloped the battlefield, the Luftwaffe, their fuel and ammunition running low, began to withdraw. The battered but unbroken RAF, their spirit unbroken, had weathered the storm. The 13-hour dogfight, one of the most intense aerial engagements in history, had come to an end. Both sides had suffered heavy losses, but the RAF had emerged victorious. The Luftwaffe's failure to achieve a decisive victory on August 13th proved to be a turning point in the Battle of Britain. The German High Command had underestimated the RAF's resilience and the effectiveness of their defenses. The myth of Luftwaffe invincibility had been shattered. Section 8, Legacy of a Grueling Day, the Luftwaffe's Unfulfilled Ambitions. The 13-hour dogfight of August 13, 1940, marked a turning point in World War II. The Luftwaffe's failure to cripple the RAF on that fateful day ultimately doomed their plans for an invasion of England. Operation Sea Lion was postponed indefinitely, and Hitler was forced to turn his attention eastward, towards the Soviet Union. The Battle of Britain, though not a single decisive engagement but rather a series of grueling aerial battles fought over several months, had profound implications for the outcome of the war. The RAF's victory, achieved against overwhelming odds, bought precious time for the Allies to regroup and rebuild their forces. It also demonstrated the effectiveness of air power and the importance of morale in modern warfare. Section 9, Echoes of Valor, the Enduring Significance of the Battle. The Battle of Britain, and particularly the ferocious aerial combat of August 13th, serves as a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fought and died in defense of their homeland. The courage and sacrifice of the few, as Churchill famously dubbed them, inspired the world and helped to turn the tide of the war. The legacy of the Battle of Britain extends far beyond the realm of military history. It is a story of courage, determination, and the triumph of the human spirit in the face of adversity. It is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can endure and freedom can prevail. The Battle of Britain, fought in the skies above England, helped to preserve not just a nation, but the very ideals of liberty and democracy for generations to come.